Yeah, I mean, we have multiple challenges. The first challenge, of course, is this mantra that we cannot afford it. That is, it's incumbent on us to reframe what it means to afford something. So, talking about sovereign currency and the government can always pay for things in its own currency, I think that is somewhat actually obvious if you pause for a moment. There is a huge political sort of resistance to talk about it in these terms, but for most people it's quite obvious that the government issues its own currency. So then the question is about affordability. What can we afford to do and what can we afford not to do? Can we really afford to have an economy that maintains people in unemployment permanently? Can we afford to have production processes that destroy the environment? Can we afford? So we really need to reframe the conversation. And I kind of liked maybe the way Bernie Sanders was doing it. And we have many deficits. We have deficit in infrastructure, deficit in jobs, deficits in income, deficits in in the communities. Why is the deficit, the federal government deficit, somehow more important than all of these deficits? So I think that we just have to have multi-pronged strategy. You can't just always insist that people understand sovereign money to find the merits of doing a full employment program. I find it a precondition to put in place a permanent program, because if somebody doesn't understand the financing, they will always find a reason later down the line to say, well, this was all well and good, we did it, it worked, but now we've run out of money and we have these other priorities. So for me, it's most definitely a precondition to putting in place policies that are important, that will be long-standing. Because we know that whenever there is the political will to do something, we just do it. And we never ask the question, do we have money to fight a war or, bail out the financial sector? But we always think of these policies as one-off, stopgap measures, crisis interventions. But what we're doing here is we're rethinking the footing on which our economy is built. We're rethinking the permanent role of the public purpose, of how we permanently address the public purpose. So I find unemployment to be a special problem, so we need to have a permanent solution to the special problem. But to talk about preventative, long-term, permanent programs, we need to find the merits in those, on the real merits, and then we need to explain that the financing is going to be there.